So here's Keith's cards, and I got, this is the PDF originally that I got from Keith, and this is a Vervante PDF with basically the format is there's the back of the card, and there's the face of the card, and the next is the back of the card and the face of the card. And I'm sure all you guys are familiar with that as a layout. And basically, Cindy very generously has offered for anyone that wants to take up our uploading offer, she will turn that into these cropped JPEGs. And so these are the JPEGs that Cindy produced. And literally, these all came into one folder, and I literally clicked on every other one and moved them into a subfolder. And so here I've got, these are all the images of the backs of the cards, and then these are the fronts of the cards from everything that, I assume everyone's seeing that. Is that working? Okay, so these are, that's the card artwork. So what I'm going to do is DEckible just gives you, we give you this standard template, and I'm just opening that up. Here it is, and I'm just going to set. Whenever you use this template, you just want to go to File, Make a Copy, and I'm going to call this Keith Demo. Okay, so this is medicine words. Right? So here is now my unique version of this. This is just for Keith and his cards. So I've just emptied out everything from the spreadsheet with just sample data. And now I'm going to go back to, I'm going to go back to my folder, and I've got the backs and the fronts, right? And the way all I literally did was went through every card individually and picked every other one, like I'm doing here. And then when I've picked every other card, I would just right click and, just a minute. Control, right click, and then new folder with selection. And that's how I ended up with all of the backs in one folder and all the fronts in the other, right? And the way they came from Cindy was basically exactly the same order as they are in the PDF that you get. So basically, the PDF that comes from Vervante has the front, the back, the front, the back, front, the back. And I've now divided those into two. So here's the backs and here's the fronts. So I'm just going to, I'm going to grab all the back file names. Oops. Sorry, I got too many folders open here. So I'm going to grab all of the backs, and I'm just going to do Control C to copy. And these things vary slightly from Windows to Mac, and I'm running on a Mac here today. So I'm going to use my text editor, which is just a dumb text editor, and I just paste into that text editor, and here are those files all pasted in. There we go. Okay, so you'll see those are all the file names for the backs of the cards. And what I did there, I highlighted all the files in the folder, I copied them, and then I paste them into a text editor. And it, depending on which text editor you're using, and this is covered in our video, you just want to paste values only. You don't want to, if you paste with the images itself, it will paste you the full artwork, and you don't want that. So what I did was highlighted these images, Control C to copy, and I came into my text editor, and it just, and instead of pasting in the artwork, it just pastes in the file names, right? And you literally, if this makes no sense to you, don't worry, just try it. When you try it, it all begins to work. It's very, very simple. And so now I copy the file names that I've got there, and I drop them into face one of my Google Sheets, and there they are. Right? So there's all the artwork popped in there. And I now move to the fronts, and I'm going to copy all of those. And I just open up a new spreadsheet, a new file, and there I've got those. And there's the 64 file names. And I come back into Google Sheets. And so now in face one of this face one column, those are all the file names for every card. And then these are the matching file names for the other face of the card. Okay, so that's all saved away. And now I just download this as a CSV. Okay, and then it's going to save that, guess me where to save it. And I'm going to say, I always save my CSV is the same place so I don't get confused. There it is. I've saved it away. And now if I go to DEckible, and if you're, once you've logged into DEckible, and yeah, once you've logged into DEckible, you'll be here, and you can see, you will, and once you've agreed to our terms, if you go into, you'll see new deck. If you haven't yet agreed to terms, you'll say you're a creator, if you want to build or buy, and then you choose whether you're a creator or not. But now I've done that, so I've got a new deck, right? So in clicking new deck, I'm going to call it medicine words, okay? And I'm just going to just whatever, I'm going to put in a tagline, and then I'm going to put in that this is the deck description. So wherever your deck description comes from, you can paste that in there. I'm going to say this is just Keith. There we go. Okay. And I'm going to create the deck. And so that deck is now created on DEckible, and it's now asking me for a CSV. And so I just pop on there, choose CSV. Here's the file that I've just created, and I open that, and it processes that. You'll see it's just taking a second to process. And when it's done, you'll see down here, these are all the cards, and you'll see it's loaded for me 64 cards. And that's the importing process is done. And at any point in time, if you make a change to that, you could just re-import the CSV. You want to, if you forget the names or the text or the descriptions, you can add that in, right? So just to prove that point, I'm going to put a description into this number one card, right? So I'm on this card. This is the first card, and I'm going to tag along here to the description column, and I'm going to say, this is how I change the info. And so I've typed that in there, and now I will download that to CSV. And the reason I'm showing you this is to prove a point that DEckible is about letting you iterate. So it's going to overwrite that file. There it is. The whole idea is this: you can create a draft deck in a very early stages and upload it, and then re-upload it, and then re-upload it, and iterate on that. And as you see the experience in the app, as you have customers using it, or friends and connections using it to like validate what you're doing, you can update that. So at this point, I just go back to import CSV, and there we go. And I click on import again. And just a minute. Import. There's the updated file that I loaded. And you're going to see that this description is going to update with the description. There you go. So this is the information I just updated, right? So basically the way to think of this is that the spreadsheet is your master record of the names of all your cards, all the artwork, all the tagging that you do in the deck, all the names and descriptions, and you just keep re-uploading that to DEckible. And here it is. And now what it's going to do, and all the way through DEckible, when you're uploading a card, uploading a deck, it will show you, and it's called, we call it the checklist. And basically you can see now it says there's no guidebook cards. It's got no sides because I haven't uploaded any artwork. There's 63 cards with no descriptions because I've added one. So there's 64 cards that have got 64 cards, but one description is missing. It's missing 128 images, and I've not loaded box art. I'm not set the price. So all of these are hyperlinks. So if I want to upload these missing images, I just click on the missing images, and it takes me to the right part of the software to upload all those images. So if you just follow the checklist, click on the links in the checklist, it will take you to the right piece of DEckible. You fill in the information that's missing, and then that checklist will just shrink down to nothing, right? So it's a very simple process to manage that. And if now I want to upload that artwork, all I do is come back to here. I've got the front and back artwork that I showed you before. I just drop those onto here, and that's going to take a minute to upload, or a couple of minutes. So I'm going to pop over here while that's happening. I'm just going to pull back up this deck, and I'm going to go to box art. And now I'm in the box art section. I'm going to choose the front of the box. Okay, and in this case, I'm going to go and find Keith's. What did I do with that? Oh, I know what I did. DEckible decks. Box art, I think. And that's what I used. This is a mock-up I made for Keith at the front of his box. So I upload that. And if you had a back of the box, you could do the same. That's just going to process, and notice what's happening while we're doing this. It's processing the rest of these files, and it's still got a few more to go, right? So we'll come back to that in a minute. Now I've uploaded the box art. If I just preview the box, you'll see there it's found. There's the artwork, there's the 3D box, and I'm just going to jump in here and choose black for the color for the side of the box. If I wanted a different color, I could choose that, and I could color the side of the box any which way. So if I chose to pick the green from Keith's card art, I can just choose that. There we go. And so that's it. It's done. And now it will make the box for me in that 3D format. And so now if we pop back here, I'm guessing it's probably, I've still got a few more to go. And you'll see this was a full list of all the 128 images that were missing. And while we've been processing, you see that list is shrinking. And we're down to the last ones just being done. So now we've uploaded the artwork. And if we go back to our checklist for DEckible, see my checklist has shrunk. There's now no longer the missing artwork. It's telling me that I've not got the I've got no front of box art still. It's just going to process that quickly, I think. I think I did that. And you'll see, if we look at, we can preview this artwork that Keith we just uploaded for Keith. And we could, I've already uploaded his whole deck, so I could jump across and show you that, but I just want to keep keeping this real, that I've done this live as we've been speaking. And now, as you'll see here, there's the artwork loaded. So card one, if I scroll down here, it's going to show me the artwork for all 64 of those cards. And we're almost there. So I've scrolled to the end, there's the 64th card. And if that's for face 0, which is like the back of the card. And if I click on face 1, it will show me the artwork for that side of the card. I'll just take a second to load and process. And box front. Oh, the reason it didn't upload the deck because I didn't click update deck. That's what makes total sense. Okay. So what we're seeing here is this is the other face of the card for every one of the 64 cards in Keith's deck. There we go. And then if I want to click on any one of those cards individually, like card 1, I can see at the same time, there's the back of the card learn, and there's the front of the card, and there's the text loaded. And now one of the cool things we can do with DEckible is we can create some collages from the artwork. So I'm going to jump into Collage Maker at this point. And Collage Maker is just a really cool way of laying out the artwork from the deck. And this doesn't help that I'm not on a very good Wi-Fi at the moment, but we'll just deal with that. That's going really slowly. Okay, I might just jump over to the deck that I made earlier, which is decks. It's in testing. So here's Keith's deck that I made earlier. Let's click on the checklist. And if I click on Collage Maker, and so here it's basically what it's done is picked at random fronts and backs of cards from Keith's deck. And in the middle, in a second, it will pop the box in there. There we go. So now that image can be saved and used for promoting your deck. So I don't know about you, but the reason we have these tools is because I spent so long creating these images for all different decks, for all sorts of creators. It took a long time, and this just literally makes it super simple. So if I just want to show the fronts of those cards, I can just I'll just choose a circle now, and I won't show the backs. I'll just show the fronts, and then I could, picking different faces, I could generate an image with just the text, not the images, right? It's really ridiculously simple. Like if you think how long that would take you to do in Canva or Illustrator, you wouldn't do it, right? That's the honest answer. We have made it so simple and fun. And so you want to do a peacock, which is just a double fan with your box. Just click on peacock. If you want to spell out the alphabet using your deck, just click on each of the letters, save your alphabet. Once you've saved your whole alphabet, you could use those letters to use the artwork from your deck to spell anything you want. It's ridiculously easy and simple and fun to market your deck using DEckible. So if I want to just say, if we were going to spell out medicine, I would just click on M, And there's the M from the medicine deck spelled out using cards, right? And I would just save that image like so, save image. And then I go along to E. And it's a laborious process, but once I've got the alphabet for my deck, I can say anything I want. It takes me seconds to do that. And it's going to make your deck and your artwork fun and engaging to work with. And then just okay, I'm just going to pause there for a minute because I will go over to the phone in a second to show the deck in DEckible on my phone. But how about we just pause and answer some questions at this point? How did everyone follow that along? Did that make sense to people? It's very simple. The video is, I'm told by people who've watched the video, hundreds of people have watched it. They find it very, very simple to step through. It is very doable. 500 plus decks are published on DEckible, so many people have been through this process. It's not, and the video literally steps you through it bit by bit. So okay, we got questions. How do the finances work? Right. I can answer that one really easily. So basically, you are the artist. So you decide how much your art is worth. You set the price for your digital deck, and then there is there's a charge from Apple and Google for using the app stores, and a charge from our app stores. So there's a 15% commission goes to the app store. So if you set your price at $10, and I'm just using $10 just because it's easy to do the math, not because that's the price, but at $10, $150 goes to Apple or Google. That leaves $850. We then do a 50-50 revenue share with you. So $425 comes to you and $425 comes to us. We charge you nothing to list your deck. We charge you nothing as a monthly fee to being on the platform. And you walk away with 42.5% for zero financial. It works on Android too, Betsy. So Android and Apple, and there'll also be a desktop version. Then we'll have a desktop version as well. Okay, where was I going? What was I saying there? So basically, if you look at Audible as a comparable, Audible pays out 40% to an author for an exclusive contract on Audible. We're paying out 42.5%. The DEckible is very, we are massively favorable supporting artists, and you're not having to pay for it. And you can create 10 decks on DEckible without monthly fees or startup fees or listing fees for every product. So let me go back through the questions in case okay. If you have a hard deck on file with Vervante, can you transfer it? Yes. So going back to Barry Leonard Grant's question earlier, is Cindy has agreed that she will send us, if you tell her to send us it, she will send us the artwork in the simplified format that she basically transformed Keith's artwork into a simple format for us to upload. And so, yes, it's very easy to do that. Explain the finances. I missed a bit of recording. Yes, there will be a recording. The recording mainly covers the importing piece, but there is the prior Vervante video from 2 weeks ago that covers the full deal. I've explained how the split works. The tutorial on the website is DEckible.com/import. So that's where the video resides and all the specs of how to do that. Honestly, the best advice I can tell you is if you are going to upload your deck is not to worry about it. Learn by trying. There's nothing you can do that's going to break anything or do anything dangerous. So just do what you think follow the video, fill as much in as you can and see where it goes. People who sit there and think too much about it end up not doing it. And the best advice I've seen from having hundreds of people gone through this process is just start. And then when if I see you getting stuck, I'll dive in and send you an email and tell you what, if there's something you're doing wrong, I will guide you through that process. So, how many decks have been sold? Those are numbers that we're not publishing at this point. At this point, we are focused on looking after creators and building the creator catalog. We have over 500 published decks on DEckible. We have 1,000 creators on the platform. We have a lot of traction and momentum from many different sources. So we're really nurturing that because we know that's the hard part is pulling all of the decks together. The more decks we have on DEckible, the more valuable it is to every consumer that turns up. So we're very much supportive, and prior to, just as a background, prior to doing this, I was co-founder of a startup called Listly. I took Listly when I joined from where it was to 1 million users. So we've been through this process. We know what it takes. Honestly, if I compare the two, DEckible has got way more energy. Yes, Keith, you were going to ask a question. Your hand was up there.
I did not mean to interrupt. So as a user, if I was to go to the DEckible app, I get the DEckible app downloaded to my phone for free. And then if I want to buy the deck, I just buy the deck, and that's my cost.
Absolutely.
The cost to me is, there's no monthly fee for the app or anything. The cost is just the decks I buy.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely. And, we're trying to make this as simple as possible because we're creating something new. And whenever you do that, there's resistance, there's skepticism, there's, human nature kicks in left, right, and center. So we've said, the reason we're not charging you to be on the platform, this is just about removing friction. We should be charging you because we're providing a lot of value. If you don't see that, it's fine, not a problem. We're not a fit. It's not your thing. It's great. No problem. We're just being super supportive of the artist community because that is where we believe card decks are truly magical. There's a way of learning, engaging, problem solving, decision making. There are so many decks out there, and we're here to support that. And the more decks we get on DEckible, we just keep iterating, and the product gets better with each iteration. And everyone could join with your decks as and when you're ready. In the presentation I gave last week, I showed 2 weeks ago, I showcased 3 different creators who came to DEckible with one deck and then have brought the rest of their decks, and they've introduced us to their publisher, and like, our focus is to look after you. If you're not happy, we're not happy. Like, we have to make sure our creators are engaged, motivated, and happy, and that's what our focus is. And when we know that's all good and all well, we'll move forward to do the next steps. Yes, Gwen. You had a question?
Yeah, I'm just wondering in regards to, talking about artists and whatnot, when you upload your guidebook information and your art to DEckible, do you maintain full ownership of that intellectual property, or do you sign part of it away, or?
100%. It's absolutely all your intellectual property. It's exactly the same. It's exactly the same with Audible. You do not, it's a delivery platform, but the intellectual property resides with you 100%.
Okay.
Yep.
Good to know. Thank you very much. Is there like a contract that is like given to you when you upload your documents, or like that
yes.
you can
look at? When you go to DEckible and you sign up and you say you want to create or build decks, it says, okay, well, you need to sign our contract, and it provides you the full contract, and you can basically scroll through the contract and read it. I think I've told you the key parts, which is I've told you where the percentage split is. We do ask for exclusivity. And what that means, because some people freak out at that, I'm going to tell you exactly what it means, is it means you are not permitted to put your deck on another platform like DEckible. Well, there is another platform like DEckible. Right? And we're not going to make it easy for them to come along and try and compete with us. So we're putting this exclusivity in place. But that's actually not about you, and it's not about us. The reason we're doing that is because it's about the customer. If you are a customer, do you want to go and get half of your music from iTunes and half of your music from Spotify? No. You want to go to one or the other. You choose where you go, but you're going to go to one place to get your books, one place to get your movies. And that's what we believe with DEckible, is that there should be a destination card deck platform. And that's our mission and purpose, to do that.
Right. So is that in perpetuity? Like, is that as soon as you upload that deck, that restriction on having it be exclusive, is that forever? Is there a specific term for how long that agreement is?
There is a term. There is a 2-year period. There's a 2-year cliff, and then it continues beyond that point. If we keep selling more of your deck, quarter on quarter, year on year, then it continues. If we don't sell more of your deck, then you can, if you choose to, you can lapse the contract. But
okay, so you wouldn't be able to migrate your deck of your own volition. It would have to be based on sales.
If we're selling more of your deck, we're helping you, and you're helping us. That's, there isn't another platform. If there was another platform, then it ends up confusing the customer and not helping, right? So we are here, we're supporting you to get to that point. We're not charging you any fees. That's the deal. And we know what it takes to build this. I have get to 500 decks at this point is a lot of work, a lot of phone calls, a lot of conversations. It's hard. This is a huge challenge, and we're investing again deeply in this. And if it's not for you at this point because you can't handle the exclusivity, that's okay, right? Everything's fine. You can take your decks elsewhere, but that's the terms that we're, because we know what it takes. Like, we've built, and we're nurturing it, and having built Listly before this, and we know what's involved. So, we 100% are supporting artists. It's very hard to support artists because artists have been screwed over and messed around by publishers and everything, yada, yada, yada. It's like, okay, you know what? You can either trust us or not. I can't tell you to trust us. That's your decision, right? And it's just, that's the choice we've made. We're here to support artists. You can come to DEckible when you're ready to support you. I think you have to decide, are we living in integrity? Are we looking after, are we doing all these things? I think I personally can stand up hand on heart and say, I know we are doing a bang up job to look after and do everything that we're doing, right? You can choose how you feel about that. But, we have a very, very passionate community. Why is Cindy supportive of us? I can name you half a dozen other people that have card deck creation courses that are massively supportive of DEckible. Like, these are all the people we've looked after pre-launch and post-launch. And we're at this point where, I speak to these people daily because it's my job to look after this community, right? So, if you have doubts about it, just keep watching, keep looking at the community, keep seeing what people are saying, and come when you're ready. I can't say it fairer than that, but we know, we have a very serious background as a team and traction to do this. We've done it before, so I feel very confident about that. But it's so challenging because every artist has a unique perspective, and we respect the artist's unique perspective. Like, I don't fight with anyone. Everyone's entitled to their view, and those that choose to think that we're doing the right thing have joined, right? And it's a wonderful thing, and we're very, very happy. And I love being challenged on this. I'm more than happy to answer everyone's questions. So,
could
Mary,
I ask something else? Oh,
yeah,
I'm
sure.
sorry. Just one other question, because it pertains to another question that someone had. I only ask these questions just so I'm well informed and I don't, go against any bylaws. But I guess my other question would be, say, another person in the chat had said, suppose that you want to retire a deck because you're going to revamp it and do like a whole new edition. Are you able to stop selling a product like of your own volition? Are you able to say, I'm ending the run, I'm retiring this product, and then I'm putting out a whole different version,
That's something that we would entirely entertain supporting with you, right? Because generally DEckible, you can update the deck so that everyone who's already bought your deck gets your new deck, right? But don't want everyone who's already got your deck to get your new deck.
Right, because someone said that in the chat.
Yeah, well, you're the artist. If you don't want everyone who's already bought your deck to get the new deck because you deem it to be sufficiently different, I'm not going to fight with you on that one. It's not our job. It's you're the artist. It's your art. So the problem is we have to be able to keep delivering the deck to anyone who's bought it. We have to keep hosting it, for which there are costs. So if you expect us not to be able to sell it, it's more logic. We see it more likely that if you evolve a deck, then update the deck and everyone gets the updated deck, right? But these are policies that I'm more than happy to discuss, because we're creating a category here. This is a new thing. I don't profess to know all the answers to all of this stuff. So I listen to creators and their feedback to try and form all these policies and evolve and grow, as would keep everyone happy, right? So I would just say, if you have those situations, just send me an email. Let's talk about it. We'll work out what's fair and reasonable, because we're not we're trying to be reasonable, right? Yeah, but it's
right. I'm just playing devil's advocate because I feel like it's just good to know, like, totally.
And
it's
that was
just
a
good
great
to know
question,
and have that information. But I mean, I think it's a great platform. I've been waiting for something like this for so long. I think it's fantastic what you guys are doing, and like you said, your reputation is fantastic. But like, it's just more like just making sure that were I to go on DEckible, that I was supporting, I was doing the right thing.
You can ask me 27 more questions. I'm remotely undefensive about it. I believe what I'm doing. I know what we're doing, and I know we're doing it in integrity. But I have zero expectation that every artist will come along and say, "Oh, great," just because I say that's the case, right? And it's interesting and curious, and it's a fascinating challenge, and I love. To me, that there's nothing inspires me more than every day, every week, I meet new artists, I see new decks. That's what buzzes me up to keep doing this, because I keep seeing amazing art. And I love to be able to serve artists like this. And it's fun. It's
well, intriguing. And I thank you so much for giving us all this opportunity. I really do appreciate what you're doing, and I think it's wonderful. So thank you so much for taking the time to answer my questions. I'm sorry for going on. I just wanted to make sure I understood everything. So thank you very much.
Wonderful. It's all good by me. Mary, you had a
quick question. We're still in the process of developing a deck, so we don't even have one finished yet. But what I'm wondering is if you can make cards in different categories. So like right now in our deck, there are some cards that are activity cards, some are reflection cards. Can you designate that so that when people are drawing, I want to draw one activity and one inspiration?
100%. You can basically, I use the metaphor suits. So every one of those is a different type of suit. Right? An activity card is like spades, and then the other one is like whatever, right? And then if you want to, you can do draws on the deck that choose one from each category. So yeah, that's a standard feature.
Great, thanks.
And honestly, the best thing I would say is load your deck now for your own pleasure, and even in the scrappiest hand-drawn format. Don't let Gutenberg and the printing press and your perfection mindset say, I won't get it on DEckible until it's perfect. Don't do that. Load it and iterate, because I guarantee you, loading it on DEckible and using it every day will make you design a better product, help you design a better product.
So to clarify, if I uploaded the 20 cards we have done right now, and next week we have 10 more, do I upload just the 10 new ones or upload the whole 30?
I don't know if you saw the whole, but when I loaded the spreadsheet and then I added the description, right? I could have added an extra card in that process, right? And then boom, job done, it would all be there. Yeah, really, it's so fascinating. It's so challenging to overcome a lifetime of perfectionist printing and fear of publishing for the sake of perfection. And I say it till I'm blue in the face, but it's like I keep saying it because like I dare you to load it in DEckible and iterate. Try it, and you will appreciate it. Like, and it's how I design decks on DEckible. Like I throw up crappy ideas, half scraps, and then I just iterate until it's done. And it's actually satisfying, and it helps you make a better product. I promise it does.
Great, thanks.
Avalon, any
Hello.
question?
Yes, I was just going to ask. I am so curious about how to upload the Audible MP4. Is that something that we add to the CSV?
Yeah, it is. So it's audio would be an MP3.
MP3, okay.
Because MP4 is a video format,
Okay,
and there is an audio file name in the spreadsheet, and you put the name of your MP3 in there, and then upload it, and then it you remember, I don't know if you saw in that process where it's basically listing all the things that were missing.
Yes.
It will then tell you're now missing 30 MP3s.
Okay.
You just drag the MP3s into the way I drag the images in. It will upload the MP3s, assign them to the cards that you attach them to, and it's very simple.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much.
Pleasure. Keith, you're on mute, by the way.
Yes, that's one of the questions I was going to ask, is how we do the audio file, which is good. Another thing is so if I was going to send a link to someone to get the DEckible, I just send them the DEckible app link. Is that right?
There's two links.
If I want somebody to get my cards,
there's a DEckible URL, which is a public website. It was the DEckible.com/cards/ I think I shared that link with you. So that's the link I would generally share. There is a deep link that takes you into the app to load your deck in the app, and you could share either, but the deep link only works if you've got the app installed.
Okay.
So I would generally advise to share the DEckible URL, because then people can turn up at DEckible not having heard of it before, not having got the app installed, and then they can go, oh, here's all the information I need. And then on that page there is the link to install for iOS or Android, etc. Right? So nice and simple.
That makes sense. Okay. And I have one more question. How on the Zoom do I press to put my little yellow hand up? Do you know?
I don't know how you do that.
Underneath reactions.
Under what?
Underneath reactions.
There's a reaction.
Oh yeah, it's at the bottom. Reactions.
Thank you.
Out loud.
Okay, and Barry,
Okay,
you had a question?
I had a quick question about Cindy's email. She said something about, for those who have a deck at Vervante, that we can move it to you, the first 50 people, something about $75. So can you explain what that offer was?
Yeah, okay. So it's a pretty insane offer. And I think we offered 50 people. And what that entails is Cindy will send your artwork to us in a format that's easy for us to process, and we will load your artwork into the spreadsheet like I demonstrated today.
Yep.
We will upload your artwork, and then we will give that process back to you so you can update it further, but you will basically have a working version of your deck in DEckible.
Awesome. Yeah, I replied right away. I'm into it. So
okay.
I don't know how many offers you've received or haven't received, but
I have not been tracking that, but yeah, I suspect we'll have quite a few.
yeah, I replied to Cindy. I don't know.
Oh, okay. Yeah. She's the first person. She has your artwork, so she will send it to us. Yeah. But we'd probably need to see that from Cindy at some point. Yeah. We didn't really work out the process very effectively, but anyway.
All right. Well, count me in.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Thanks, Nick.
Great. Carol, you had a question, and then we have two Carols. Okay, so Carol, how you doing?
I had put
Okay.
in a question in the chat about this whole thing
Oh.
about, do you have something that's similar to ISBNs, where if you have kind of similar but different versions of your deck, how people can tell which is which? And
Right. On it. Okay. So the question that got asked before about different versions of it is something that's actually new to us to deal with. Like I've had a couple of incidents of people asking that question, and so I don't really have a rock solid formal answer to that. It's something we would definitely evolve, and as we gather that from more people. I guess naively, we're at the process of publishing first versions of products for people. We weren't thinking about second and third versions of a product. Also, to add to that, our thinking was that the decks that we publish would just be updated and iterated. So if you update your deck, the customers that already have your deck will automatically get the new version of your deck, right? Does that make
Right.
sense? So if you have 500 customers with your deck, you update it, it broadcasts out to the 500 people and they re-download the latest version of your deck. But the question that was asked before was, what if we don't want to do that? What if we want to have a separate, distinct product? And that was a bit like, I didn't really have an answer to that question because I've never been asked that one before. So, in fact, other people have done that just without asking, have created a second product. I was like, okay, well, as I said, you're the artist, so you choose whether it's the same product or not, right?
well, I'm sort of thinking like, because I work with both parents and children, so that you might have a deck that you use with children that's different than the deck you use with adults that have the same title, but with ISBNs.
To me, that's a different problem because that's like two products. It's not the same product. I can totally see the adult version of a deck and the children's version of a deck being different products. And that's totally fine. We don't have an ISBN number because we don't need one at this point. Someone said, why didn't you sell the decks on Amazon? And I was like, oh, I hadn't thought of that. I mean, I don't know whether Amazon would even let us sell digital products, probably not. But if we did, then we might need an ISBN number. I don't know. These are just thoughts that different people have asked and questions flowing through my head. But yeah, no, I definitely think that a children and adult version of the same product is fine and valid. I absolutely see that as legit. Yeah, more than happy to chat about it some more though.
But it also could be like, you do a simple version,
right?
And totally. You do a more complex version that has, the simple version is cheap and it's just the two faces, but then there's a more complex that has audio and who knows,
One thing to be aware of as well is with DEckible, we can combine cards from different decks. So you could just have the basic version, which is the first 30 cards as one deck, and then the adult version could be an add-on to that deck, right? So in a lot of board games, for example, there's a base game and there's expansion packs. And the expansion packs are no use without the base game, right? Could be that. So, because you can do mixed readings where I draw cards from this deck and cards from this deck.
Yeah, it's just trying to,
yeah, well,
thinking about things. So,
right. I think we'll resolve it though. We'll just figure out, it'll make sense over time. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
That we get, and then Carol Vinci, you had a...
Yes. I have a comment for the other Carol. you know, say dash adult and then the other one dash kid and have them two separate decks. So, but the reason I have a question is I'm producing the card deck for Vervante with QR codes.
It doesn't do anything.
For the videos that I'm providing in the DEckible version. So
it just opened to
would
the
that
screen.
confuse her in the offer of downloading the deck? Because, you know, I need help uploading the deck to you guys. I realized that I had.
And it scanned me.
I'm not sure. Oh, somebody
Invitation?
on mute or not on mute.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, I'm still in the hospital with my chemo treatment. So that's the background.
Okay. Sorry, that's okay. So, I mean, QR codes.
I'm putting those on the physical
We
deck. No, I
provide
know.
a QR.
I have the videos to take advantage of your service in DEckible.
Okay.
But because I couldn't do that with the physical deck.
Right.
So
No, I've seen other people putting QR codes on cards to help them to send people to play a video on YouTube. Yeah. I think that's what
And then
okay, but that doesn't fit into what Cindy is offering.
Well, you could print the QR code on the card, right?
Yeah, the QR, but I don't want that deck sent to you because that's going to be a confusion for the people. They don't.
Well, then
need
you'd
the
have
QR
to send.
code.
Yeah, then you're more. We strong. You know, you can totally have a different digital deck than the physical deck. The digital version does not have to be the same.
Okay. Let me talk to Cindy offline because she's been working with me, giving me quotes as I progress through this process. Okay. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Will there be a recording of this?
Yes, there should be. Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Okay. Anyone else got any questions? I can more than happy to we've been going a while now. Oh my gosh.
Can I just ask one? I'd just like to ask one short question.
Sure.
I just wanted to clarify. Sorry. At the moment, are you collecting cards and collecting artists, but you're actually not selling them yet? They're not actually open.
We are selling them. Yeah, we are selling the deck for sale. Yeah.
Okay.
We're just very focused. We're still focused on, you know, it's important. We believe, like we kind of believe that 1,000 decks is a kind of tipping point. We might be right or wrong. It doesn't actually matter whether we're right or wrong, but yeah, there's a sort of body of work. The more there's a tipping point where people will load. You know, people are just. Some people are cautious, some are not. Some people are early adopters, some are not. And you know, we're definitely seeing a shift in publisher behavior to bring more decks to DEckible. And it's just we know this is going to go mainstream. It's just a case of time. We can't know what is the answer, the thing that will tip it, but it will. We just know it's going to happen. So we're just treating it with like it's just. Honestly, it's like I just feel it. I see the data. I see the energy of what's happening with everything, and everything's loading, and it's just moving in the right direction. So, and I know how hard that is to achieve. So it's kind of fun to be in this position to know that you've got the energy at that point. Not my physical energy, but the community energy, right? The vibration, the awareness of DEckible is just, you know, really kind of running high. So that makes it easier and easier. It just gets easier week by week, month by month, you know. But it would be foolish to say it was not it's still challenging because people are, you know, rightfully cautious and protective of their intellectual property and how they treat it and all the things they do, right? So Yeah.
Thank you.
Carol, you had another question?
Yes, just so I mean, I obviously this is the case, but so if we are working on a deck, we can upload part of it, but there's a way that we make it where it's not for sale or not visible for other people or whatever. So there's some way that
it totally defaults when you upload a deck, it's in draft mode, right? Draft mode is only you can see it. Then you can move it into testing where you can see the app, see the deck in the app. Still only you can see that. It's only when you say, I would like to publish the deck, we then look at the deck to check that it's, everything's correct and it's the right quality, etc. And then the deck gets approved and then other people can see it and buy it at that point.
So if like with this Cindy deal, can we do that just in the draft mode stage before?
You totally can. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yep.
Okay. Okay. Great. Thank you so much.
Tamara?
Hi, yes, I'm not sure if I missed it. I stepped away for a minute, but you mentioned the MP3. Was that talked about? Because I'm quite interested in that.
Yeah. So basically, it needs to be for audio. It needs to be an MP3. You add the file name of your audio file to your spreadsheet, and there's an audio file name column in the spreadsheet, and you put your file names in there, and then you upload your CSV with your updated MP3 file names, and then DEckible will tell you you're now missing the following files, and you have to drag and drop the artwork and drag and drop the audio files into DEckible, and then it will upload them, and then they will play when you load those cards into the interface. So yeah, it's nice and simple.
Okay, perfect. And is there any additional cost for that, or that's just part of the service?
For now, there is no cost to that. And when I say for now, I mean, for people who join now, there is no cost. We may charge for that in the future, but if and when we do choose to charge, it will be for people who haven't joined at that point, right? So
sure. And then I have another question as well, because with the card decks that I'm currently wanting to set up, is with a purchase, you'll get 5 MP3 files free with the purchase of the deck. And then if you wanted, you could purchase an optional where you get all of the MP3s for a higher price. Could I have 2 deck versions on DEckible with different price points?
I think so. I mean, that sounds complicated, would be my initial reaction. Like, people won't necessarily know that there are 2 versions. But it's entirely possible to do that, exactly as you described. Yeah. Yeah.
Thanks.
Pleasure. I just realized I haven't shown Keith's deck in DEckible, so I could show that. Keith, you had your hand up.
I just have a real quick question. So when we're done with this Zoom call, my deck will be available, and I don't have to do anything else, like load it. I don't have to go into my account and make it available to the public. It'll be available.
I need to publish it. If you tell me to publish it, I can publish it for you.
Yes, please publish it. Yeah, so it's ready to go.
Cool. All right, cool.
All right, thanks, Nick.
Great. The pleasure. There we go. Oh, wonderful. I was just about to try and download from my phone, and it won't let me do it. Oh. The joys, I probably used up all my data plan. Not to worry. Okay, I was going to show you your deck, but it doesn't seem to. No. Okay. Okay. Yeah, it looks like there's a Wi-Fi outage here for some reason. Oh, Okay. Anyone else got any questions? Have I answered everything? So we pay. Do we pay when we use? You can use your own deck for free. Question to ISBN. I'm just checking out to see if I've not asked any other question or not answered any questions. Okay, is there a limit? Yeah, right. Good question, Laura. Is Laura still here? Yeah, I mean, the spirit of DEckible is I feel that the audio files should not be very long. We haven't, I think we have a 15 megabyte limit on each audio file. Not totally sure. That's something that I think that's going to evolve with time. And these are the kind of things you realize. I mean, these are things when we start storing audio files, this is stuff we should be charging for. We're just at that point where we're, what we've seen is a massive uptick. Oh yeah, there you got it. Perfect. Thank you. Yay. We have seen a massive uptick in the people who are uploading audio and video with DEckible. And I think that's because people have begun to realize what it can do and what it means and how useful that is. So I guess at this point, the whole point, there is always first mover advantage for creators who move on to any new platform. So creators are on the platform early, get things that start costing other people things later, right? That's just every platform that's ever been in existence has added rules later that restrict people who arrive later to a platform. So now is the time to dive in and use and exploit and push the boundaries of DEckible while it's there. We want to see what you want to do with it, and we may add rules and restrictions at any point to change and alter some of that as we move forward, because we just have to protect what we're doing, right? But there is a spirit of supporting the creators who are supporting us, right? So I think you'll find we'll generally be fair and reasonable about all of this. Yeah, I don't know if that's making sense, but that's certainly what goes through my mind. Keith, you had your hand up again.
So this is what it looks like. What I was wondering is the title says app testing.
Oh, that's just because it's in-app testing because I haven't published it.
Oh, I see. Okay. So then you just go through this, right? That's really amazing. And then if a person wants to buy it, they just click on download. So this is, well, I guess what I'm trying to say is this is what you see. This is like if I was a customer and you come in and this is what I see. There's no other drop downs or any other pages, right? That's it.
Right. You choose the 10 images that are shown there, yeah. Well, I chose them for you because I set it up, but they were just the collages that, yeah.
So a customer looks at it like this, and then they just click on that app.
That says, yours says download because it's your deck.
Oh.
If it wasn't your deck, it would say like whatever the price point was. I forget what price point we agreed on the deck, but
so I get this.
Say like
I can download. All right, good, nice. Well, that's very nice, Nick. Thank you so much, so much.
Pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you for stepping in and doing a quick demo there.
And then you'll publish it, right? So it'll be...
no, I'll publish it. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you.
So
I'll just say that, I think it's great to be able to see this happening in real life online. So that was a very great way to teach that it's not too complex.
Well, and was that as a point of feedback, was that like I've shown that before. You just never know when you're showing something if it's understandable, because you're jumping around.
No, that was very inspiring for me, and I love seeing somebody in the community actually having their deck online in the thing, but it did not look undoable to me. And, you know, it was not specific, but that was inspiring for me, at least, I would say.
Oh, thank you. It's good to hear. So anyone else got any points or questions or resistances? I always love the resistance. I mean, I don't love the resistances, but I like to actually try and, you know, understand what they are, because it's important. I always feel like when we understand when someone's got a point of resistance and we can do something about it, then we will. You know, when you're creating something new, there's always things people don't understand and are skeptical or nervous about, and we fully appreciate that. So I really value getting these questions, right, to understand what people's issues are, right? If we didn't do that, we wouldn't be where we are. It's just like, you know, it is sort of a weird, wonderful exercise of herding cats in some ways, but it's also rewarding and motivating the free spirit of creativity, right? So, you know, I've seen some amazingly creatively cool decks come from people in the community, and just like, that's inspiring when you have a conversation and then 6 weeks later you see a deck that didn't exist 6 weeks before based on a conversation you've had. That's very motivating. So what size can I use? Okay, so there are literally no limits. Every card and every face of your card in your deck can have its own aspect ratio. So the front of the card could be portrait, the back of the card could be landscape, and the second side, the third side of the card could be square. I'm not suggesting you do that, but just there are no technical limits in DEckible. You can decide how many sides does the card have and what shape would you like it to be. And by the way, DEckible supports transparency. So I don't know if you're aware of that, but we do support transparency, and that means that basically you can show a deck on DEckible that has, you know, it doesn't have to have solid edges to it. So should I demonstrate that? Would that be valuable? Let me just hold on, stop sharing. Share screen. Okay, so this is okay, so this is the deck of ways that is not yet published on DEckible. Anyone wants this deck, I can give you a coupon to get this. And basically it's a deck of 21 different ways to use a card deck. And this we created this because I just realized people don't understand how wonderful and magical all the different ways you can use a card deck. So here we are. So one of the ways I can use a card deck is to shuffle, right? And another way to use the card deck is to deal. And these are cards. You see how they pop over each other? So that's demonstrating transparency in DEckible. I can drag flip in here. There's flip. I could drag in question. And you'll see, like, some of these are partially transparent. It's kind of fun. There's all these different ways we can rank cards or combine cards from different decks or create our own deck or match cards, like to pair things up together, or we can sort things into piles. We can draw cards, we can write on the cards, we can watch the cards, we can sequence the cards. All these are the different ways they can use the deck. And it's called quadrant idea. And you can see how behind the quadrant, there's different, you see it's transparent. It's pretty cool. It doesn't feel like a deck, but just watch this. So now I've got all these cards here, and it would be kind of fun if I could just organize those into a quadrant, into a grid like that. maybe I'll just add a couple more. 1, 2, 3 more. Close it down. And they're in a grid, right? And now if I flip them over, you'll see now I've got, this is the guidebook side of each card. So this is an explanation. I want to understand how does deal work? I can zoom in on any one of these cards. So it's pretty fun and simple to play with DEckible in that way, right? And there are 21 cards in this deck, and it's a wonderful teaching tool. I don't know what your thoughts and reactions are to that, but we're pretty excited about what transparency brings, because it means you can create games, you can create all sorts of storytelling experiences using what does the play option do? Oh, play is just play just means you're playing a game with cards. You can play, it's just a fun mechanic, whatever that, whatever game you want to create with a card deck, you can do that. So we've laid out all these options to try and explain to people all the different ways you can use card decks. And some of them are, one of them is super cool. Let me show you this. So the watch one is really nice. I'll just get rid of that one and put that there. So the watch one is flips between state, because you can watch or listen or read. It's the same card, I just flipping it over, right? So watch, listen, read, and then it flips over to the guidebook. So it's just, whatever you want to create in DEckible, it's just a very flexible canvas on which to render out all your ideas. Any of you thought about using transparency before with DEckible?
Well, I was just gonna ask, so like with play, so people could like play poker with the cards?
They could. There's no enforcement of rules with DEckible. Like there's obviously rules to poker, right?
Right.
So
but
DEckible doesn't enforce the rules, but we have all the card assets there. So you could have a Trivial Pursuit deck on DEckible and play Trivial Pursuit, right? Because the most important thing of Trivial Pursuit is having the questions. And if you had a deck of that, you'd have all those questions and all that there. I don't know how everyone's feeling, but we've been going for an hour and 40 minutes at this point. So I'm good. I'm fine, but I'm just checking in if anyone's has anyone got any more questions, thoughts, reactions?
well, to get a coupon for that deck.
Oh yeah, let me just do that. Where is it? I have to look it up. I'm better. I don't know. Testing. Okay, I'm almost there. Tokens. So that's the code for the deck of ways. Just pop that in the chat, and that you just need to be logged into DEckible, and then if you redeem that card, if you click on the link once you're logged in, it'll add that deck to your catalog.
Thank you for that.
Christina, you don't need a call to to join DEckible. you're more than welcome to have a call to chat to us, but you can join and just sign up and load your deck, without actually speaking to us. That's all good. Yeah, thank you everyone. If there's any more questions, I'm happy to answer them, but probably a good time to close things down. It's always inspiring to see just how many people turned up today, just getting a feeling of the energy and curiosity, and we're definitely doing something new, so it's just always good to repeat and just have a chance to every time someone sees this information, different things sink in each time. So we think that's kind of motivating and valid. So I really appreciate everyone who's come tonight. It's been a long session. We covered a lot of stuff, answered a lot of questions. I hope I answered a lot. Yeah, I'm just love to see your decks on DEckible soon. Thank you very much, everyone. And then yeah, Keith. Oh, the one thing, Keith. I might try and explain to you how to get the text. We can name every card because the moment they're just numbered 1 to 64, I think. But I'll send you an email on that.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Simple. It's pretty simple to fix that. I think it's worth fixing, but we can publish it.
So you just name the cards like the title of the card?
Yeah.
Okay.
You just need to go in and cut and paste the net. You probably have it somewhere in a document. You just go and paste it in easily. So
okay.
Yeah. Cool. And then if anyone here I should have said this earlier, well, there's lots of people around, but if you know someone else that has a card deck that should be on DEckible, the hardest part of this is getting to where we've got, and the more decks we have, the more there is. So if you know of another creator, send them along. I really appreciate that. It's very important, and we cherish, value all of the community that we've built up to this point. So, and we're like weeks away from the release of trials, so that's exciting. To then, once trials come along, you get to download your deck for free and use it for 3 days, and then buy it or not. So that removes a lot of friction, and makes people can try stuff without being skeptical, see it, and then go, oh, this is what I'm getting, great, and then I'll buy that. Right. Okay, Keith.
So on the app, it has a QR code, and so if someone uses the QR code, does it go right to my deck, or does it go to the deck?
Yeah, it goes to your deck on DEckible.com.
Okay.
And then it's the main DEckible link that it takes you to, and then from there you can get the link to download the app or to go to your deck in the app. But that's definitely going to help people buy your deck, right? So
it's valid now. So if I sent this out and someone purchased my deck, and then later, like within the next few days, I'm going to make it an audio deck.
Oh yeah.
And so if it's an audio, would it update their already purchased deck?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep. Perfect. Cool. Well, thanks everyone.
Thank you, Nick. Thank you for publishing it. Thank you for getting this done. I really appreciate you. Thank you.
No, it's been wonderful. Thank you. Thanks everyone for turning up today. It's been great to see such a strong turnout from the whole Vervante community. I really appreciate it. And yeah, I'm here to help if you need anything. Don't be afraid. There's no such thing as a stupid question, all right? And yeah, the best advice I've got is try, as opposed to don't overthink about it. It's just dive in and play with it. And if you get stuck, then we're here to help. Okay. Well, thanks everyone, and good evening. It's getting late for me here in Turkey, so bye all. And chat again soon. Well, I'm sure. Okay. Thank you. Okay.